So friends, in this video what we are going to do, since our answer widget is updated according to our questions, so let us start our application. And what is your age? It is below 50. Click on the symptoms you have. I have none of the above. And do you came in contact with it? Can't say exactly. So when I hit this button, you can say I reached the end of the question, and the flutter means this emulator gives me an error. So what happens here exactly, when I reach my third question and I press that answer button, I ran out of questions. So I need to have a mechanism where I can tell the flutter that no more questions are there, and it need to be displayed on the screen. So we will work in this lecture over this thing. So for that thing, I I need to, means whenever I am pressing that button where my this thing is changed, I need to exactly I need to have a if statement here. If my question index is less than the length of the questions, and that is, I use questions dot length questions dot length. Okay, so I have my body of if here. So why it is giving me an error? Okay, no problem. Since my this question list is inside this you can say this build method, and dot has, I have already told you that the scope of this variable is inside this build method only. So we need to access this question list outside of this method, build method. So we need to move this thing from this build method to our main class level. So now you see that 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 error has gone now, since I have now this question list can be accessed anywhere from this class. So this is resolved now. Before we move any further, one more thing, that since I have moved this to this level and my list is not changing, and I use the final keyword here and declare this list as constant, since we are not, this list is not going to change anywhere during the operation of this program. So I will explain these constant final in the coming lecture when we encounter them in more details. But at present, the final means that this is not going to change anywhere else. So we are here, and I will just give you a generic idea of what if else is. So if means, but this is my question index, the current situation where at present I am. If I click it for the very first time, or when the app runs, it is at the 0th level. So my question index is 0. When I click it for the first time, this question index is updated by 1 and it goes to this level. And when I click it at the next time, it goes to the third level. So this question length is 3, since we have 3 maps here. So pardon. So we were here, and when the question length means this question length is fixed, since we have 3 maps inside this question list. So when we reach the third level, this condition is false, and then we will go to the else block, and inside else block we will write our statement. Say we write here print uh, we can print more questions coming, and inside this else we print no more questions. So we need to apply the same if else concept but in a shortcut way. Here since we want our app to, let me restart this thing, since we want our app to uh, output some message on the screen when we hit the third question or the last question in the list, so we need to rebuild our, you can say, the appearance of the app here. So I will go with, before this column widget, I go with the same logic which I have gone ahead. This is just to show those people, those who don't have any idea about the if statement. This if statement takes a boolean thing, means if this goes two way, this is correct or not correct. So for the first three questions this is correct. When we hit the means when we have the third question, for the fourth time it is not correct and it will give you the message, means no more question. So I'm going to apply the same logic here. Oh, sorry. So I'm doing it the shortcut way, and if this thing goes here, means this is if this logic is correct, then this statement will run, this column statement will run. And when this logic holds wrong, then we use this column, and then we can use that uh, so once we hit this column widget, we can have a center widget where this center widget has a child as a text widget, and inside the text widget we will display the message no more questions. So our logic is ready now. Let me explain this thing once more to you people. This is the if statement, that if question index is less than the number of questions we have, then this statement will run and we will have our question widget, and which returns answer widget. And then we have, when this statement, when we click next, means the next question, we will move on to the next question. And when we go to the third question, this question index will now have holds a value 3, and the question length is also 3, but 3 is not less than 3. Then we will move to this you can say to this else statement, where we display a center widget. So this sorry, this we have our if logic here. When this first statement, means when this logic holds wrong or means false, then we go to this else statement, and after this column, and then we have our center widget. Inside center widget we will display a text that no more questions. Okay, let us use left, and now we will run this app. Let us perform a hot restart, and now if I click this, then this, and then no, now we have the message inside the center of the widget, which take the center horizontally and vertically inside this screen, and it will display no more question left. Thanks for listening, friends. See you in the next lecture.